Blessed be and welcome to another episode of Witch Please. It is I, Odin the Seer. And today we are going to be making my Ancestor incense. Well, this blend here that I use for a variety of reasons. One, I find that it works really well. Two, I also will use this for my Ancestor candles, which if you are interested in learning how to make those, you can take a look at our Patreon account to be able to see how I make my Ancestor candles, which can be used for making any kinds of purpose candles at all. Before we even get into that, let's talk about why we'd want to work with our ancestors. That's probably something that you guys should know. Well, first and foremost, you need to understand that working with your ancestors, it is said that they will work with you before any other being will. Blood of my blood. They will understand. They know you. They have a connection with you. They shared a lineage with you. So they are more likely to come to your assistance before any other deity will come to your assistance. Any other elemental being, any other, you name it, angel or spirit. So they come and they assist you. So you really want to be able to have that connection. You want to be able to honor them on a regular basis. You want to be able to know exactly what type of people they were, what type of beings they are now, and you want to be able to build that rapport. Now, I've also heard in many different traditions that the best way and another reason why you want to work with your ancestors is because the ancestors are on the realm of existence with all of the other beings at this point in time. So if you build a connection with them, it is easier for you to have your message heard or have it reiterated to other beings that will be able to assist your magic. If you don't know your ancestors, I'm going to be doing a video on that, showing you what you can do if you're adopted or whatnot. But really consider working with the ancestors. And once you start doing this, you will notice a difference, a spike in your magic. And you will notice that you will be able to manifest swifter, not to mention the fact that when you work with your ancestors and they're in your home and around you regularly, it really does help combat loneliness and depression and all of the other variables. So yes, working with the ancestors are a wonderful thing. And I once had a student say to me before, I didn't really get along with my ancestors. Darlings, remember, that was them in their corporeal state. They are different now. They see things differently. They live differently. They experience reality differently. We all have our own demons that we need to deal with on a regular basis in this plane of existence. However, when you are in a different plane of existence, you realize that things are very different, and a lot of the illusions and densities of this plane of existence no longer affect you in the way that they did. So, know this, that if you have not had a strong relationship with your ancestors, building one with them, now that they are no longer corporeal, can be wonderful for not just assisting you in your magical evolution, but also healing some traumas that you have on this plane of existence as well. So, you are going to need Mugwort. Mugwort is good when it comes to any kind of spiritual connection. Summoning beings, elementals, spirits. It is wonderful for allowing you to be able to bridge the gap. Okay, that divide between the realities. Mugwort is wonderful for assisting and supporting you with your psychic ability and allowing you to be able to feel, see, and hear the beings when you are ready. Some people don't like to see the beings just pop out. I'm one of them. Don't do it. I don't like it. But when working with Blessed Mugwort, you will find that it will facilitate and provide the options for this to happen. Wormwood is another one that is great for when it comes to connecting with spirit, especially spirits and ancestors. It is really good for facilitating that union and that connection with them. It's great for being able to cultivate a relationship with these beings. Now again, don't just think that these you can only use for your ancestors. These can be used when contacting any spirit, all right? But we're not doing an any spirit class, we're not doing an any spirit video today. We're doing an ancestor video. So this is really good with cultivating relationships with beings. Copal is also a very, very good resin when it comes to being able to connect with the blood of my blood. It's a very, very powerful way of being able to bond and bind those energies together to create a sacred space that is outside of this density, but also outside of the density of the angelic realms. It is also very good. It's kind of like creating a playing field with which to be able to commune more efficiently. Now, the reason I use two different forms of Copal. I use Copal and Copal negro. And the reason why I use Copal and Copal negro for this is because I also like to bring in the light and the dark. Not to mention the fact that I am mixed race, so I have white and black family members, and I like to be able to cultivate those different traditions and experiences on this playing field that I have cultivated to allow for communication and communement to occur. Loki just asked me, because he thought that I should explain this to the Witch Please family, he said, "You said blood of my blood." Well, resin is the blood of a tree. That's why I use the terminology of blood of my blood. Dandelion honey. Now let me tell you something, I've been drinking dandelion tea all day because I knew I was going to be doing this video. And dandelion is great for being able to create the vibration of family, to create the vibration of home, to be able to connect with spirits, to be able to connect with energies. It's a wonderful way of being able to cultivate a connection. Dandelion tea is also good for cleansing out the body as well as toxins from the body. So I really like to incorporate dandelion tea in my drinking process when I know that I'm going to be making any kind of ancestor or even spirit candles for that matter. So dandelion is great for cleansing out anything that is negative, anything that may not be pertinent or needed within your reality, and cultivating a stronger and deeper connection. Alright, the next one we're going to be using is celery seed honey. It's a seed, and celery is great for nourishing spirit. It's great for being able to create almost like a banquet within those energies. It's a coming together. Hey, how have you been? It's so nice to be able to be in your presence, to feel you in mine. Celery is wonderful when it comes to family, whether they be here or whether they be gone. Being a seed, this is the reason why I don't just use celery powder. I use the seeds, is because of the fact that the seeds also have the spark of creation in them, which is absolutely wonderful for being able to reach those higher realms of existence. Last but not least, we are going to be putting in some sacred tobacco. Now, sacred tobacco is a wonderful offering to the spirits. Again, it also helps, if you think of sacred pipes and all of these sacred tobacco, it's wonderful for being able to create that vibration of peace and unity. It's great for being able to create that vibration of something sacred, something real, something that is outside of illusion, outside of time, outside of space, outside of all of the things that limit us. Sacred tobacco is very, very versatile when it comes to bringing in an external force that is of your reality, that is of a different reality into this reality. A lot of people say the reason why tobacco is smoked is because it brings something into your reality, into your essence, into your vibrations. Because this is your family, you share that, so you want to activate, in a way, the vibrations that are already within you, of the lineage that you share. And I can't think of a better botanical to use than sacred tobacco. We're not going to be smoking this, but you can actually smoke sacred tobaccos. Make sure, if you're going to do that, okay, you get your tobacco from a reliable source. When I am blessing things, when I am doing a lot of conjure work, I will use my sacred tobacco to blow the smoke onto the item as well. So, you know, but you don't want to go from someplace where you don't want to get it from someplace where you don't know what they put in their sacred tobacco. Having said that, let's get into making our incense. All right, so we have gotten ourselves ready to be able to actually create this Ancestor incense. Now, off screen, what I did was I did my offering to my ancestors. Joss notes, hell notes, heaven notes, they're called many different things. But I made my offerings of those, lit my ancestor candle, and I got myself a glass of water. Now, the reason why I did that is because you want to be able to make your offerings. I will be doing a video on doing offerings for those of you who really want to understand how to do those, how to burn Joss notes, hell notes, heaven notes. And the reason why you want to have water in your workings, especially when making anything for the ancestors, is that water is a portal and it facilitates and creates an open space for the spirits to be able to come in. So you always want to have a glass of water on your altar, or you want to have that wherever you're going to be working, especially when you're working with your ancestors, or really any beings when you're calling them in. Now, if you noticed, I have it in a Guinness glass. The reason why I have it in a Guinness glass is because my ancestors like to drink honey. No, they loved their beer. And I thought it was very fitting, and I used this pint glass. Sometimes it's water, sometimes it's Guinness, boo! Sometimes it's, you know, a couple of shots of whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. Or rum. Because my grandpapa liked rum. If I'm doing that, I will more likely have the shots of whatever it is, the spirits, for them, and I will have my glass of water and a glass of Guinness sometimes if I feel like it. I have more than one of these glasses of Guinness. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to take our Copals. Okay? And I am going to just take some of the resin and pour it into the pestle and mortar here. Alright. Alright. So next what we're going to do is we are going to take our Copal negro. And we're going to do the same thing. The next thing we're going to be doing is we are going to be using our wormwood. Alright, so we're just going to take some of this wormwood and we're going to place this into our mixture. Now, you don't need a lot, y'all. Only if you're planning on making a whole heaping amount of it. I'm going to be using these for these candles. I do burn it as incense as well, but I don't need to make a lot right now. Alright, so the next one we are going to be working with is mugwort. So we're going to take our mugwort and we're going to place that in as well. And we are going to go through the same process. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking some of our sacred tobacco. Okay, going to be peeling a little piece of this off here and placing this into our mixture. Alright, let's move on to the next one, and that is dandelion. So we're going to be taking some dandelion here and we're going to be placing this into our mixture. So this is the leaf that we're using because the leaf allows for people to be able to connect easier to the higher realms. So that's why we're going to be using the dandelion leaf here. And last but not least, we are going to be using our celery seeds, y'all. So we're just going to put that right in there. Let's close this up here. Get that in there. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take our pestle and mortar and we are going to powder this down. Now we are going to work in a clockwise motion. All right, we are not banishing anything here. We are calling in and honoring the ancestors. All right, and there you have your Ancestor incense. Now, I'm not going to be taking this out of the bottle, putting it in a cute little bottle, because I'm going to be using this right away. It's very important for you to understand working with your ancestors is such a powerful thing, and I've discussed it a little bit earlier in the beginning of this, but I just want everybody to know that this is a very powerful incense, and there's so many things that you can do with it. You can burn it on your altar, you can use it as an offering, you can use this and the whole process to be able to make other types of communication, spirit communication, incenses. Place a little bit of this in your car to ensure that you are protected by your ancestors. If you're making a gree bag or a mojo bag, put a little in that when it comes to your own work. If you have magic that you want to do and you want the ancestors to really get in there and get her done with you, right? Place it in your spell. Ancestor incense is such a wonderful and powerful asset for any witch to utilize in their magical workings. Now, if you have an issue with the chunks in it, some people do. Some people like chunky orange juice, some people don't. Use a plastic sieve to be able to extract the hard or thicker parts in it. For me, I have no issue with it when I'm using it in my mojo bags, or my gree bags. I have no issue with it when I'm burning it as incense. However, when I'm making my candles, that's a different story. I do like to take out the hard parts, and I like the powder to be as powdered as possible when making those. If you're interested in seeing how I do that, just join our Patreon account. You will be able to see some of our in-depth content for less than a Starbucks coffee for a month's worth of content. All right, my witches, my spiritualists, that is our episode for today. If you have not subscribed, you know you need to press subscribe, join the Witch Please family, and do not miss out on a thing. You can follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, as well as Facebook. You can send me a personal email at witchpleaseofficial@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment below. Don't forget to press that bell icon so you're notified when a new video comes out, because you know you don't want to miss a thing. I've said it before, my witches, my spiritualists, and I will say it again. It is a pleasure to have you in my world. It is an honor to have you in my magic. And you're always in my heart. I will see you guys again on another episode of Witch Please. I love you, boo-boos.